Hello, everybody. It's your boy Nefakari, one half of the number one rated podcast in America. You're a top three, or at least I feel it is. It's Nef, and today I'm going to be reviewing. Okay, so basically, I review films. That's what I do. That's what I do. I review films. That's what I do. It's what I know. Okay, I'm gonna talk a little briefly about. Well, so I've seen a lot of films in the last. I'm always watching films. I try to do 10 a year, and so now I'm just gonna be reviewing, some of my favorite films from my boy Noah, right? And the first film I'm gonna do, even though I've seen a lot of films this year, I've seen so many films this year, and it's only August. I've already seen I try to see 10 a year. I'm already at 9 or 10, I think. I'm gonna do Planet of the Apes. I'm just going to talk briefly about it, give you my spiel, how I'm feeling, and join me. Bear with me. Or just join me, I guess. Don't bear. This is not going to be unenjoyable. This is going to be a lot of fun. All right, so I'm a big movie buff, and I really liked the Planet of the Apes. I thought it was really good. I am not into rebooting projects because I don't know if you do know, but let's talk about some history of Planet of the Apes. So it started out in the 60s or 70s. And it was a really good film, changed the world. Then it spent off into several films. One of the earliest franchises, actually. Now I think about it. Probably up there with Bond is the earliest franchises that we could expect to see more films of. Yeah, definitely. But then it was so successful, it booted into a TV show, which the TV show came out in the 70s. And I was born in 79, so I watched a little bit of it, and I hated it as a kid because I wanted to watch cartoons, and I didn't understand what the show was trying to say socially. So then it got rebooted again for film by one of my favorite directors, Tim Burton, and he had a different spin on it. And then it got rebooted again. And this one takes an even more different approach. I think with this series, because at first it's the Planet of the Apes, and then it's Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, now it's War of the Planet of the Apes. And I've seen all three. The spin this time is that there's more of a cohabitation with, so the earlier films, it has a human being, and he kind of gets trapped or lost, or he's just in the world of these apes where they seem to be very modernized and civilized as humans, but they're still apes. They just haven't evolved physically to what we've come to understand as the Homo sapiens. So they're still very ape-like. It's always been the human in their world, but it's with this spin, it's more like the ape is in the human world, which I like that spin. I feel like if you're going to reboot something, you're going to take a new spin. Then if you're going to reboot something, you should take a new spin. So basically, that's what this is. So let's talk real briefly about part 3. I'm just going to skip the formalities. If you don't know the film, bad for you. There will be some spoilers. Okay, so I'm watching the film, and I think it was really, really good. And I hate people say really good because that doesn't mean anything, but I'm going to explain. So let's talk about, I'm very invested into story. That's what I am. But let's talk about the aesthetics, the shooting types. So for me, what I really enjoyed about the film had such beautiful close-ups. And for me, it was that scene when Winter, I guess the ape who went rogue and I guess sold out he sold out Caesar, when he's back with the human beings in that camp, and he's got the racial epithet donkey across, and we're gonna get into donkey too, and he's got that racial epithet donkey, and he's like a slave, and he's washing their dishes, and he's revealing to them why he turned on them and why he went rogue, and we just get such a nice human moment. That's what I really enjoyed about the film. It humanized the apes in a different way, because I think that's what the film parallels on. I think it's important that it talks about the parallels between human and ape culture and how similar they are. It also speaks a lot about race, but for this aspect, we see a lot of humanizing the animals, and we also see, I guess, apeizing humans, because Woody House and Cat, now we'll get into that too. But it really humanizes. Of course, he traded on them, but we see it was out of fear. And then when we see when he talks about his actions led to death of important people, we see the sorrow in his face, and the film does a very good job of capturing that emotion, because that's what it's all about. You could watch a bunch of shooting, fighting, you could watch a lot of stuff, but it's the emotion that carries people to the movie theater to make us buy tickets and make us watch and make us the filmmaker hold our attention for 5 minutes. It's the emotion. It's not the shooting. It's not the fighting. It's not the sex. It's not the drugs. It's not the gratuitous stuff. It's the emotion. So I really like that humanizing aspect, and we saw that in Caesar's face too, when Caesar had to confront Winter, and it's like we just really get a really humanizing aspect because Caesar was very human at that when he had to explain to him like, yo, your actions led to the death of my wife and son. Explain yourself. So I really enjoyed that. I'll get into the apeizing. That's not even a word, but I'm going to use it. We really get that with Woody Harrelson's character and a lot of humans when they lost the ability to speak and they chose to, instead of settle their difference like adults or like humans, they chose to just have complete war as if they were incapable of being human, and which is the de-evolving, I guess, the devolving. And I thought that was very interesting because this film did a good job at humanizing the apes, but de-evolving or apeizing the humans. I was like, wow, that's a really good take because that's what Woody Harrelson was to me. He was kind of like an animal. He killed his own kid because the kid was losing an ability to talk. And it was just he killed himself, and it was like, wow, you're losing the human aspect of yourself due to the apes. So it was really remarkable. I really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed the story. Now, people do have a problem with the journey, with the travel. And, I've seen that so many films where, because every film has to have a journey. I don't care what the film is about. There has to be a point where the character is going through, because he needs to arc, he needs to evolve. And if that journey can be metaphorical or it can be an actual journey. And that's what the film does. It puts us on this journey, and it's really weird watching monkeys ride horses. That's so weird for me. Like, I don't know what's going on here. But so they're apes riding horses, but they haven't evolved past the form of apes. But I don't know, it's so weird. But I guess it could be weird to watch humans ride horses too, or all animals. I don't know. Too much taking enough. You're going too far. So yeah. So a lot of people that I talked to had problems with the actual journey when he's following them and he's getting to the point. And I don't know. I didn't have a problem with him because they find that little zoo monkey and he's doing some things. I don't know. I just found it to be really interesting. So yeah. So I'm not going to get too deep into it because I could talk forever about this film and just film in general. But those were the three aspects I think I really enjoyed that I've heard critique about. So just to recap, I really liked the humanizing. Well, I'll just sum it up. I really like how they switch sides and we see the humans act like apes and the apes act like humans. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the close-ups. Really good. And the journey was pretty good too. That G word again. Good. The story was very intense. I really enjoyed the symbolism. I like how the apes came together. It's like it seems the one thing that we need in society right now is for humans to come together, and it's just not happening. But to watch the apes do it was pretty unique. And not only did they come together, but they symbolized coming together. And what I mean is we physically saw it when it's not about just helping someone escape, but it's also about putting their hands together in solidarity, which was very important to me. I never felt like Caesar lost his people, even though his actions led to them being enslaved, and they were upset, but I feel like he never lost his people. But anyway, I think it was a good film. I think you should check it out. Of all three films, per this franchise only, I rank them as Planet of the Apes being number one. So the first film is one. No, the third film, The War of Planet of the Apes, is number one. Then the first film, Planet of the Apes, would be number two. And I would say Rise of Planet of the Apes, the sequel, part two, wasn't that good. I would rank that as number three. All right, y'all. Thank you. So it's Neff, one half of the best podcast of all time, top three. Signing off. Thank you. Peace. Produced by Flydraw Media.